Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. If you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would suggest that as we recite the pledge, we keep in mind the life of Dave Tolliver, former firefighter, obviously, and public servant, and Army veteran of the 101st Airborne, which is no easy duty, obviously. He's a paratrooper and really a good person who did so much for our community. So with that, let's recite the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Play ball.
Okay, first order of business this evening. Reading and approval of the minutes from the May 26, 2024 regular council meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have motion and second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. The motion carries. Thank you. Next, a presentation from Gail Oakes with Theater, West Virginia.
Did everybody get one of these in the mail? Or your emails, about the financial report?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Some of you, yes, some of you don't. Some of you want to take one, pass it down if you did not.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gail Oakes. I serve as the general manager for Theater West Virginia. I want to start off by giving you a heartfelt thanks for your generosity and your contributions over the years. Your support has been integral in enhancing the productions in several significant ways. From constructing sophisticated sets, to inspiring costumes, to implementing advanced sound systems. Thanks to your help, Theater West Virginia has been able to constantly deliver performances of exceptional quality. The vibrancy on stage, detailed costumes, and improved audio clarity has greatly enhanced both audience's experiences and performers' delivery. I am here tonight reaching out to request your support once more for Theater West Virginia. Theater West Virginia maintains its operations through revenue obtained from ticket sales, sponsorships, memberships, grants, donations, and various other sources. This income is critical to financing production costs and operational expenses while advancing the organization's mission. For the 2024 season, Theater West Virginia projects generating approximately $142,000 in revenue, representing a 10% increase compared to the earnings of the 2023 season. However, the organization is currently experiencing elevated costs across various expenditures and categories. These include the expenses for production rights, materials required for costumes, sets, electrical costs, food supplies, and much more. Additionally, there is an upward adjustment in salaries and wages for staff and performers, along with the increased marketing promotional expenditures, administrative costs, and other overheads. For the fiscal year 2024, projected expenditures are estimated to reach $154,000. This projection surpasses our budget by almost $12,000. Due to these unanticipated increase in costs, we are asking the City of Beckley to consider a donation of $10,000 to help offset the additional costs and increases. I understand that you have many competing priorities and limited resources. However, I urge you to consider the long-term benefits of supporting our theater once again. Every dollar invested in Theater West Virginia will yield returns in the form of unforgettable performances, increased tourism to our area, and a stronger sense of community pride. Your investment will not only preserve the legacy of our theater, but also contribute to the culture and economic growth of our beloved city. Together, let us ensure that the magic of the live theater continues to inspire and and lift up our community for generations to come. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Gail, thank you. I don't know if council has any questions of Gail. I will say in the past that it's been determined, and I think that that's been our standard contribution as a city to Theater, West Virginia. And I think the rationale over the years has been that it's a wonderful benefit, not only financially, but from a reputation standpoint, for the city to support Theater, West Virginia. And in the past, and I can't speak for previous councils, but I've been doing this for a few years now, I think it was felt that a $10,000 contribution was money well spent. And I don't know if that's something that you have any further questions on. I don't know if it's something we can act on this evening, Mr. Fowler, or do we need to do that in the future?
I think you can go ahead and act on that one tonight, Your Honor.
Okay.
I make a motion that we donate $10,000 to Theater, West Virginia.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to donate the $10,000 to Theater, West Virginia. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you guys so very much.
Thank
Please
you.
come out and see the show. They're working hard out there.
That's what I've heard you on the radio a couple times the past couple of weeks. You got a good cheerleader in Fred Persinger there. That's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Presentation from a representative of Imagination Station.
Thank you, okay.
So there's a letter and a photo and then
Okay, thank you.
Yes, good evening. Thank you all for having me this evening. I'm Jamie Lima, State Director with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of West Virginia, which is the early literacy and school readiness program where children from birth to age 5 will receive a book at no cost per month delivered to their home. That's addressed with their name on it, and it's a handwritten, although it's scanned, Love Dolly. So it is a personalized piece of literature that's thoughtfully selected. The Dollywood Foundation handles the Penguin Random House publishing and employs a blue ribbon panel of literacy specialists to thoughtfully select this 60-volume collection by the time a student is age 5, a child is age 5, so that they're school ready and prepared for kindergarten. I've passed around just a brief PowerPoint that tells our partnership. So here in West Virginia, Marshall University's June Harless Center, the nonprofit center, is the partner that brings this program to West Virginia. They have a fixed budget to support half the state. It's statewide, it's a $1.3 million program. There are 53,000 children enrolled. The cost is $26 per child per year. I've enclosed a breakdown of what Raleigh County is. If every county could meet a 50% funding in all 55 counties of West Virginia, as I mentioned, the June Harless Center out of Marshall University has that fixed budget for the rest. Raleigh County is in deficit, so we are seeking community partnership for them. We have about 35% covered. So this just, as you go through, it does highlight the positive impact. So in 2006, Imagination Library was brought to the state, so there's been plenty of time for the effects on our youth to be measured. Starting with, if you'll see some of the slides, the 3rd grade reading is where we first noticed this over the years, where 3rd graders on the DPIL, that's the acronym for Dolly Parton Imagination Library, outperform their non-DPIL peers. And that's consistent. So that is why some of our state funding that comes through the West Virginia Department of Education, it goes to the June Harless Center. They love the program and filter those funds through the 3rd Grade Success Act. So that helps the schools. It helps give a better prepared child into the school system. Some of those books that you'll have a snapshot of where it shows some of the titles. Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come, the Llama Llama books about sharing. I Am a Rainbow helps kids express and identify their feelings. So these are all things that teachers would love the kids to, kind of already have a foundation for once they start school. Now, the impacts, when we're looking at the studies, they go on because we're in our 18th year here of having the program in West Virginia, and it is growing, but then the studies go on to build support for higher graduation rates. So we too rely on some grant funding, we funnel different avenues, and that lends to the economic and workforce development. Most recently, and why I'm here to appeal to your opioid settlement allocation, is because a study most recently by the Robert C. Byrd Center depicts, and that's in your letter, you can kind of follow along, that early literacy is prevention. It supports that being read aloud to forges a safe emotional foundation and promotes nurturing one-on-one interactions between children and their caregivers, which aids in long-term emotional health stability linked to the deterrence of drug use. Now, on that second page, you'll see the first of this was a small town doing big things. This started where we got the Imagination Library Program of West Virginia as an approved expenditure. This was through Mayor Billups at the town of Cerrito, that's Wayne County. And since then, the town of Wardensville and Moorfield in Hardy County, as well as Spencer in Roane County, have all distributed funds from their opioid settlement. So I am here to request our outstanding need to sustain the actively enrolled children in Raleigh County, an endowment from the opioid settlement funds due to the disproportionate effects of the pandemic in our community, and do seek the council's consideration of diverting funds to this program, supporting early literacy as prevention. If we want to look at the cost breakdown, that's just a bit further into your slides. And we'll see where Raleigh County is. So again, I mentioned it's $26 per year per child. That's $130 per child through the life of the program, the 5-year. We would love a 5-year sponsorship with that commitment. And Raleigh really does great with their enrollment. So if we're all on the Raleigh County projections sheet we can follow, 1,950 children out of about 3,800 eligible in the county. Got above 50% enrollment. So I've put that we have partnered. I'm in Beckley about once a month, see some familiar faces. The Beckley Rotary Club sponsors us. Again, Raleigh County Schools gives their max that they can through the Third Grade Success Act. And then Marshall University's June Harless Center, their foundation, supports 50%. What we're lacking for the upcoming fiscal year, July to June, is $15,750. So whatever could be allocated, and again, we've got that opioid settlement money. We have to spend it. I know it's got restricted uses, and if you're having a hard time, spending the money, I can help you with that. That's what I tell my husband too. But thank you for your consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions, about the statistics or about the programs.
Any questions? I've heard wonderful things about this program. My wife is very active in the local Read Aloud program, and I think
Yes.
I think your group has had some presentations.
That's
to them.
coming up. So Dolly Day, as Governor Jim Justice proclaimed, it falls annually August 9th. So we do Read Aloud events, promote that week. We go hard, and then we end with a Dolly Dash, which is down in Cabell County. I brought some flyers if anyone's interested. I could leave some, but yeah, we love our community events and promoting the program.
Yep. Billy, can you give us an idea of where we stand on our opioid distribution? I don't know that we've actually received any cash to date, have we?
We have already received, we have right now almost $2.5 million in our opioid settlement fund, and we have it in an interest-bearing account currently. All the distribution has to be approved by council. So the money is there. It's when council decides to spend it, we we have the funds available.
Well, this is a magnificent program, just from what I know about it, and I don't think any of us, and I didn't realize the impact that early reading has on youngsters this age. But it's a life changer.
Yeah,
for
thank
them,
you for
really.
letting me highlight that. I know everyone loves Dolly, and they think, oh, that's great, she gives books to kids, but as I mentioned, since we do have Marshall University's sponsorship with it, they love to do the studies,
Right.
and it really is inspiring the depth of the positive impact on the kids. So we're hoping that could be a positive avenue in the way of prevention.
What is the economic shortfall, the dollar amount that you necessitate for Raleigh County to meet the other counties' commitment?
15,670, I think.
$15,750. That's the shortfall with, that's not the total amount to support the county, but that's, we have the funding, that's what we're lacking.
After Rotary made its donations and some other
Correct, yes.
organizations.
So the books will be mailed directly to the child's home.
Yes.
So how do you all get the children's names? How are the names? Do you go to the schools or?
How they enroll?
Uh-huh.
There are many different, we have our libraries, we have Raleigh General Hospital, so our birthing hospitals, we have the WIC offices, Head Starts, even in the schools, and then families can find us online. There are QR codes like instant enrollment, and when we do the events, as we mentioned, we always have a table of many things, and we're encouraging the enrollment. And I manage that system personally for the state of West Virginia. It is housed by the Dollywood Foundation. It's called the Book Order System, and it tracks their year of birth and what level they are, so that they get the appropriate allocation of the books. And every zip code in West Virginia, regardless of if it's rural, regardless of income, it's free and makes it to every zip code. West Virginia went statewide in 2022. That was the big buzz when Dolly came to visit. So that actually, we got a boost in growth, and then that's why I'm here. It's a good problem to have, that it's a wonderful program and it's growing, but we need to sustain with the funding to support that.
My wife actually went on the website and enrolled my daughter when she was probably about 6 months old, and she's 16 months now, and she gets her book every month.
okay.
My wife reads to her every night. She has about 2 or 3 baskets full, and reading time's probably her favorite, but it's a really good program. I'd agree on it.
Thank you. It's a good quality book, they're new. So for the life of the program, just to build up on that, so it's $130, for one child for that full 60-volume collection. And I think I have a little one, an avid reader as well, so I relate. But, I mean, that's a great investment. If you found 60 books, think of the gift, that's a great gift for a child. So the fact that we can give that to the children.
And then what's interesting is when they get to the very end, they get a conclusionary book with a personal note from her.
So that's the one that'll make you cry. That's the Lookout Kindergarten, Here I Come. And there is on the front flap, it's the scanned, it's the written note from Dolly. You've made it a longer journey, you're ready for school. It really fosters an excitement and emotes, a feeling, like a response. It'll make you cry if your kid's been on the program. But that's their last book, and she's telling them, hey, you're ready, and gets them excited for starting school.
Mayor, is it possible, I just talked to Billy and Mr. Fall, I'd like to make a motion that we give, I don't know if the rest of the council, but I'd like to just give the remaining amount of the opioid money, what they
I'll
need, the
second.
15,000, whatever it was.
750.
If we can do it now,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
That's right. We have a motion and a second to close the gap there with 15,170?
570.
It's on our,
Can we do
I
it?
think it's 15,750.
Can we amend
Okay,
it to 16?
15,750.
Can we do it for 16?
That's right.
What is it?
I'll see
You
your
want to round
16
it
and
off
raise
to
you 1,000.
We'll just
No,
make it
just kidding.
16.
Just
I
make it
can.
an even
Make
16,000.
Even 16.
Everybody agreeable with that?
Sure.
Thank
Yes.
you. I was admiring your butterfly necklace. I should have
Oh,
put one
just,
on. That's
she
for Dolly.
fancies it up every time she does.
Yeah.
Okay, back to
Thank you.
business.
That'll allow us for some growth. So
We have a
thank you.
motion and a second to award $16,000 to this very worthwhile program. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Eric Woolridge with Destination by Design. Is Eric here?
Your Honor, we're going to postpone that.
Okay.
We had a meeting this morning with Mitch, and probably should have pulled that from the agenda. That is being postponed.
No problem.
He'd probably want more than 15,000.
What's that?
He'd probably want more than 15,000.
That's it. Good bet. Okay, next award of bid for the, once again, for the one-ton four-wheel drive dump truck with a snowplow.
I'm gonna go over the bids. This item will be purchased with federal direct spending funds. Originally, this item was bidded and only one qualified bid was received. And to meet the requirements of the federally directed spending, we were required to bid it out a second time. Second time came and we only received one qualified bid, so now we're able to accept it. Whiteside of St. Clairsville submitted a bid for $141,980 for the vehicle, and the vehicle met all the specs. I'd make that in the form of a motion to accept this bid.
You have a motion to accept the bid as described by Mr. Reedy. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the bid as presented. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed by the like sign. Thank you, Cody. Next, award for a demo grant from DLAP. You all handle that?
Yeah, this one, their bids were submitted from two qualified companies for the demolition of the removal of 13 dilapidated structures in the city of Beckley. The cost of the demolition will be reimbursed by a state program. The two bids submitted met all specs. The bids were from Reclaim Company LLC for $170,450, and also from Empire Salvage and Recycling Inc. for $1,119,925. I make a motion that we accept the bid from Empire Salvage for $119,925.
You have a motion to accept the Empire Salvage bid. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any other discussion?
On that, by the code of it too, that we need, it requires that we select the lower bid, and we've done business with Empire many times. Those the main reasons me and Ms. Hunter recommend Empire.
Yeah, they've done a great job over the years. Very good.
Mayor, I do have a question. Was that for 15 demolitions? How many properties?
13.
13?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
That's the first of three groups.
First of three groups, Mr. Trump said.
You hear that? And then first of three groups of demos.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so we have a motion and second to accept the bid as presented by Mr. Reedy. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Next, award of bid for asphalt, concrete, stone abrasives, sand, and reinforcement rods.
Yeah, we only received one bid on this. The bid was from Southern West Virginia Paving. It was for DOH specs of asphalt base 2 or PNL 1, $105 per ton. Wearing 1 at $109 per ton. Curb mix at $144 per ton, and tennis mix at $144 per ton. I'll make that in the form of a motion to accept.
We have a motion. We have a second to accept the bid for the abrasives, et cetera, as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to accept the bids as presented by Mr. Reedy. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Item number 9, Mr. Fowler, is that still?
Yes, Mayor, let me very briefly speak to that. The city is going to request that this matter be pulled from the agenda tonight. I've been in consultation with Sam Rich of Thrasher. We spoke last night, and we talked again today. I think we're both in agreement that it would be best that the city put out a request for proposal, an RFP, on this project. Thrasher is in agreement with this. They have no objection to that. And we want to give everybody, every engineer in this area, the opportunity to submit a bid. It's going to be basically for the services as has been discussed. It's for the infrastructure, primarily for the Pinecrest Business Park. Mr. Trump is already working on the advertisements that have to go to the newspaper. It's a Class 2. It'll take 2 publications once a week for 2 consecutive weeks. We're going to move this quite rapidly. We feel we can. And we just feel it's in the best interest of the city. And it's probably the right thing to do. And I compliment Thrasher for their ethics in this matter. They don't want any question as to whether or not this should have been put out for bid. And so we're going to move forward in that direction.
Very good, thank you, sir. Any other questions of Mr. Fowle regarding this issue?
Mr. Fowle, you're not concerned about everything we covered in the workshop about the timeliness? I thought we'd put to bed the issue of alternate bids with respect to this. And
This is going to move quite rapidly. It's going to be, at most, a few weeks delay. I will speak later when we talk about the sale of 2 parcels of property from in the Pinecrest Business Park. That is going to be on the agenda, and it goes with that.
Yeah, it's item number 10.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Second reading and public hearing of an ordinance authorizing the sale of 2 acres of real estate located in Pinecrest Business Park. Mr. Fowle?
I guess I'll speak to that now.
No time like the present.
What I'll do tonight, I'm going to read this ordinance by title. This is second reading. The first reading took place on May the 28th of this year. And then once I've read it by title, we will have a public hearing. Anybody here will have an opportunity to speak either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance. I am going to ask that we amend the ordinance. The first reading had the name of the purchaser being Dr. Rajan. It's actually going to be sold to Dr. Rajan's company, Matchpoint LLC. This is not a material change. It's basically the same ownership, but she's a doctor here in Beckley, and she has asked that we put it in the name of this company, Matchpoint LLC. So what that will require is, in just a minute, it will require a separate motion to amend this ordinance. Now, this ordinance does authorize the mayor to sign the documents to convey 2 parcels, both approximately 1 acres, for $75,000 per parcel to the purchaser. And there is a description and a plat attached to the ordinance showing where it is located. It is property that is in the Pinecrest Business Park. And this is being sold at a price that was actually agreed upon with Dr. Rajan by the prior owner of the property. So I spoke with her today. She is thrilled that we're moving forward with this. They absolutely want to go ahead. There's no consideration whatsoever of walking away from this on their part. And so she was excited. She understands that there will be a delay before the work begins on infrastructure. There are certainly some items that have to be addressed and will be addressed. But as far as she goes, she's all in favor of moving forward at this stage. So at this time, I would ask for a motion to amend the ordinance to replace Dr. Rajan's name with Matchpoint LLC.
So moved.
Need a second on that, Mayor?
Second.
I have a motion second to amend the agreement as described by Mr. Fowle. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries.
And I'll now read the ordinance by title. An ordinance authorizing the city of Beckley to sell 2 parcels of real estate located in the Pinecrest Business Park off of Governor Clarence W. Meadows Parkway. And I'm opening at this time the public hearing and would ask if anybody in the audience has any comments, either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance. Appearing to be no comments, I'll close the public hearing. Mayor?
Very good, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as described by Mr. Fowle for the sale of 2 acres of property in Pinecrest Park?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and second to authorize the sale of the 2-acre plot as described by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Next, second reading and public hearing of an ordinance authorizing property swap with the West Virginia Department of Veterans Assistance, also in Pinecrest Industrial Park. Mr. Fowle?
Yes, sir, Mayor. On May the 28th of this year, council passed on first reading this ordinance. I will read it by title in just a minute and conduct a public hearing. What this ordinance does is it basically swaps a piece of property that the city of Beckley owns at the Pinecrest, in the Pinecrest Park, with property that is owned by the West Virginia Department of Veterans Assistance. They owned this property and had intended to build a long-term nursing care facility. Initially, I believe it was going to be on multiple levels, possibly at least a minimum of 2 levels. They've determined they want to do it all on 1 level. The current site that they own is not sufficient to handle their needs there. So they have worked with the city. The city is in agreement to swap property with them. It will be done by deed. There's a description and a plat of the property that's being conveyed to the city and the property being conveyed from the city to the Veterans Assistance of West Virginia attached to your ordinance. And at this time, I will, unless there are any comments, I will ask that in the public hearing, which I'm now opening, anybody who wants to comment, please do so, either in favor of or in opposition to. Once again, Mayor, appears to be no comments, so I will ask that you present it for a motion.
Very good. Thanks for your detailed description of this transaction. All I will say is this has been something that's very exciting that could result in up to 200 permanent jobs for this health facility for the West Virginia Department of Veterans Assistance. So if we have a motion to approve this swap on second reading. We have a motion and second to approve the swap as described by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Second reading public hearing of an ordinance authorizing closure of alleyway between Totten and Thurman Streets. Mr. Fowle?
Yes, sir, Mayor. Also on May the 28th of this year, this council approved an ordinance on first reading that will permanently close an alleyway that's basically an unused right-of-way that's located between, or it's located, I guess you'd say, between and parallel to Totten Street and Thurman Street. These are streets that are in the vicinity of the new Stratton School, and the Board of Education has made the request. They did petition this council to close this right-of-way. It's a right-of-way that's really of no use now to the public. The board owns property adjacent to this right-of-way upon which they use for parking and other uses for the Stratton School. And so what will happen is, if approved tonight, this alley will no longer function as an alley. The city will issue by a quitclaim deed to each contiguous property owner, giving each owner half of the property in front of or beside their property. We are already prepared to go forward with that. And this is something that, as it stated, the Board of Education has requested, and I think it's something that certainly be beneficial to that area, and it helps with the safety over there. So this ordinance is titled, "An Ordinance Permanently Closing, Vacating, and Discontinuing So Much of a Public Right-of-Way, namely an unused right-of-way alley situate between and parallel to Totten Street and Thurman Street in the city of Beckley." There are representatives here from the board tonight and their counsel, Mr. Sheasley. If anybody has questions, they probably don't. Mr. Gerald is present. We welcome both of those. At this time, the public hearing is declared open. Does anybody have any comments either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance? Appearing to be no comments, Mayor, I'll turn it over to you. The public hearing is closed.
Very good. Thank you very much. Any other questions of Mr. Fowle on this ordinance closing the described alleyway? If not, do we have a motion to approve the ordinance on the second reading? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the ordinance on the second reading as described by Mr. Fowle. All All who approve indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Next, discussion and consideration of the City of Beckley's contribution for the construction and installation of the Bill Withers sculpture on the plaza at Beckley Intermodal Gateway. And we have Joe Moorfield with us this evening, who's been very involved in supervising the fundraising and has done a beautiful job. So, Mr. Fowle, do you have any comments prior to Jill's comments?
Just very briefly, this is a statue that's going to be very nice. It's going to be something I think all of the city of Beckley would be quite proud of. I know they, in their fundraising, which Jill has basically headed up, now are down to where they need $30,000 and are looking for the city of Beckley, which we have discussed in the past, but never formally authorized it. But this will basically get them over the hump. This is the final major contribution that they are seeking. There are other parties that have made some very significant donation also to this project, but this is one that will be on the plaza in the Beckley Intermodal Gateway. That will be something that I think everyone will enjoy seeing. We envision a lot of pictures, photographs being taken in the vicinity. Jill, do you want to speak?
I guess everybody knows about Bill Withers. I mean, he's our three-time Grammy winning, three-time Hall of Famer, a music legend from this area, and we just want to celebrate him. We've been working on this project for a few years, and the city had kind of said before that they could help with the pledge, and it was kind of like matching what Cole Heritage had said that they would contribute. We had several big donors, and then we had lots of little donors as well. And so with this 30, I think that leaves us within like a couple thousand of having the full amount raised, and we'll put that statue in. We're also hoping that we are awarded the Lowe's Foundation grant that Angela wrote earlier, which was to find out something at the end of this month, and then that will help with picnic tables, maybe some musical playground equipment, and public art and things like that. It will be a really cool space that we will be proud of. People, like you said, a lot of people wanted the pictures taken there, and just hope it's something the community is proud of. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Very good.
Split it into two amounts. We're supposed to make the payments in three amounts. So the first one, if we can go ahead and make the payment, then we can, Pastor Hightower can get the skins sent off to the foundry, and it can start being bronze, and hopefully we can get it in the fall and have it unveiled.
Very good. Thanks again for all your hard work. I guess the all-important question, Mr. Trump, can we afford that contribution?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Very good. I didn't mean to catch you off guard there. Thank you.
Sorry to be so wordy.
Okay, we're down to old business. Anything from any member of council?
Mayor, do you
We
need us-
need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd make a motion to appropriate that amount for the
Okay, good.
finalization of the.
Second.
Good, we have a motion and a second to approve the $30,000 contribution to the Bill Withers project. Any other discussion?
I just want to congratulate Jill
Thank you.
and Michelle. They took that project and ran with it. I mean, you all just did an outstanding job. No, it was you. Go ahead, you and Michelle. You all did excellent. They were good.
Very good. So we have a motion and a second to approve the contribution by the city of Beckley, $30,000 to the Bill Withers project. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Anything under old business for any member of council? Anything under new business for any member of council?
Well, maybe, I'm sorry, Mayor, this maybe should have been under old business. I just want to thank Pam for trying to help me to get G Street paved. So we've been working on that. I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Okay, very good.
And also, I noticed, I drove on Garfield and Russell today, and they're beautifully done, and quite an uplifting feeling driving through those neighborhoods with those nice fresh streets.
Very good. Okay, an executive session to discuss at least one topic is in order.
Mayor, I would suggest, if you don't mind, that maybe take public comments ahead of the executive session.
You know, I would prefer that. I was a little surprised that that was ahead of public comments. So, very good, we'll do that. And then we'll entertain a motion to enter executive session following public comments. So, first up to sign in is Mary West.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Like I
Mary.
always say, different day, but the same old mess. And it's getting worse. And I am tired, even though my hair is red, I'm being tired of being the redheaded stepchild here in Beckley. I hear everything you all do for everybody that asks you all to do it, and you just ignore whatever I say to you guys. And I am getting terribly, terribly tired of it. So, I don't know what it is. Can somebody please tell me why you all don't want to do nothing down there on that street, LaRue Avenue? Because, like across the street, I'm looking at the rats running out from old across there and asked the city sanitary board to come down and put some bait in the drain. If they did, I didn't see it. But we need help down there, and I'm tired of asking because everything you all tell me, well, they got to use that street to go this place and that place. I'm tired of hearing that. And I'm tired of getting these bags under my eyes because the traffic keeps coming through 24/7. They are not called Samsonite luggage. They're called bags because I don't get no night sleep or day sleep. So somebody give me help. And I know one thing, you all are getting ready to leave office, but I'm telling you straight up. You can run, but you can't hide. You'll still be on your hides to get my stuff done. Why is there not an issue that you all don't think I need help on? And I've been coming too often, the last 20-some years, and I'm still asking for the same thing. The alleyway and all. You can change the alleyway up here on this street and that street, but you can't do anything about the alley back behind my house. I have to come out of my pocket and pay for things to be done. When you guys are just throwing money out like it's something to play with. Help me, please, and thank you.
Tony Martin.
Good evening, council, mayor.
Good evening.
Guess you guys know me, right? For those of you that do not know me, I am Tony Martin, Axe Master Chief.
There you go.
My title at the Axe Hole in downtown Beckley. So I come today to talk to you guys about revitalization of downtown and economic development as we have it now from the eyes of a downtown business owner, right? There's been a lot of talk, and I've been kind of quiet over it, over the fruits of labor for the last several years, right? The Axe Hole opened in 2021. The fruits of labor came in after us. I was actually kind of excited because I said, that's just what we need is a restaurant downtown, right? To bring that foot traffic. But then I was totally let down when I found out that the fruits of labor was going to have business hours of Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 or something like that. I owned a restaurant in downtown. I had those hours because that's all the economy would allow me to be able to have, right? Fruits of labor is there for free. They have no rent. They have no utilities. They're not paying employees directly out of their pocket. They're getting grants from the state of West Virginia. Over the past 3 years, the Axe Hole, including what we invested into it, put $500,000, that's $500,000 in the Beckley's economy. It started with the construction of the Axe Hole. Many of you may not know it, but we had a local contractor right out of Shady. Every piece of wood, every door handle, door lock was bought at Means Lumber. I get emotional, you may see it in my face. It was bought at Means Lumber in downtown Beckley. The money we generated in those 3 years went to our employees, who all live here in Raleigh County. They went to our vendors, all Beckley companies that supplied us with our t-shirts, all these things that our out-of-town visitors come to the Axe Hole to buy. Those out-of-town visitors come to the axe hole to come to the axe hole. So not only did we put $500,000 into our economy, we brought people downtown. Nobody wants to see the axe hole closed, especially me. But luckily, I have a partner that has more brain than heart. You don't mind me saying that, do you? Because I will go down with the ship. I've been a downtown business owner now since 2018.
15 seconds, Tony.
15 seconds, Tony.
Since 2018. It's a very hard journey. I want to continue trying. Please yield me an extra 15 seconds. I want to try and go ahead and continue to try. But when I look at things like the fact that we bought $1 million building, and now we're talking about taking $1 million worth of opioid money, giving it to the lessees of this building so that they can give it back to us, back into our general fund. That's not a good look. When I'm pulling money out of my wallet, hoping that I can make a difference in downtown Beckley, unless you enlighten us on what the economic benefit is going to be. Give me hope. Give me a reason why I should hold out. But right now, I cannot see that reason. I see $2 million invested into a business when over the past 3 years, we put $100,000. That's just our rent.
Okay, Tony, your time
That's
is
just
up.
our rent. Give me one more second, Mr. Mayor. That's just our rent. Now, if the city subsidized businesses who tried to invest in Beckley, or they subsidized business owners who are trying to revamp their business, their buildings, if we had that subsidy, that would be $100,000 in our bank account. Our business hours would return to 7 days a week. We, right now, during summer, for our young people, especially those at the most vulnerable age of between 10 and 18 years old, we could be having summer camps.
Very good. Thank you, Tony.
These are the things that we could do. This is true economic development.
Thank you very much.
Okay? That's all I want to say.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for the extra time. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Jim Sheetsley, is Jim here?
He said he didn't want to speak.
Sorry?
Oh, he's
All righty. Christine Baisden.
Hello, I'm Christina Baisden. There's two different issues that I wanted to talk about today. The first one is the recruitment company, Baker and Tilly. We paid an additional $6,000 for a community needs assessment that was supposedly already done. I never saw an assessment, nobody I know saw an assessment, and yet we have data presented to the city manager recruitment committee from this assessment. I would like that data to be made public about when that assessment was put out, where it was put out, and the statistics and data that was given to the recruitment committee, because no one has seen it. And if we paid $6,000, we deserve to see that, in my opinion. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the sunk cost fallacy, which is, by definition, our tendency to continue an endeavor we've invested money, effort, or time into, even if the current costs outweigh the benefits. So we've bought a $1 million building for fruits of labor. We helped renovate it, maintain it, paid the utilities, and now we're subsidizing the rent and reimbursing ourselves for the cost of the building using the opioid money. Fruits of Labor maintains that they cannot afford the upkeep of that building, inside or out, nor can they pay the full rent of $3,000. What is the next cost for the taxpayers of the city of Beckley? Down the line, this is going to cost us even more money. Our decision to move forward should be based on future costs and the goals of local recovery rather than old investments that cannot be reversed. Our initial investment is lost. That should not be the reason in giving this for-profit business more charity. Fruits of Labor should be providing us with statistics on their success rates. none of us in this room or beyond know what that is. That's all I have. Thank you.
Danielle Stewart.
Thank you very much, Danielle Stewart, resident of Beckley. Articles of incorporation, bylaws, a current list of board of directors, certified organization audit and financial statements audited by a CPA, current fiscal year budget, including all funding sources. These are just a few of the documents the city of Beckley required for a recent grant application. A lot of information that the city needs to make good decisions about the use of its money. And all of this was just for a $45,000 grant to help low-income residents make home repairs. Two organizations just sit here asking for less, provided you with that information. This city provided over $2 million in assistance to Tammy Jordan's for-profit business, and you are being asked to provide even more. Tammy Jordan and Fruits of Labor Incorporated, who have provided no benefit at all to the residents of Beckley, except repackaged Sam's Club food and job training paid for by the state, is asking for at least another $200,000. Has the city collected the same documents from Tammy Jordan and Fruits of Labor? Have you seen their financial statements? Many of you have stated you have never seen any of the city requires of others. I presented you with a complete list of documents required to help you know what you should be asking for from Tammy Jordan. I recommend you give her the same 7 days you gave the other organizations to produce these documents. Shortly, you will go into executive session to discuss your donation to the Jordan Family Irrevocable Trust. Why? Why can't you talk in public? There are only two reasons. First, you have been manipulated, and you will continue to be manipulated by this administration. They want you behind closed doors so nobody can fact check what they're telling you. They've deceived you on pay raises. They deceived you on inclusive communities. And they have deceived you on the Pinecrest development, which you just found out today in an email from Gina Belcher. They're trying to pull yet another deception. The administration also doesn't want to be held accountable for their backroom deals, because guess what? They are liable for those deals in any lawsuit. There's a reason the mayor and recorder treasurer must be bonded. They are the ones who will be held accountable. Unless, of course, there's an accidental data breach over Christmas that happens to just, delete the information. You do not have to go into executive session. That is a choice you make as a council. The administration will give you 1,000 reasons why to go into exception, and some of them will sound very legal to scare you.
15 seconds, Danielle.
And that, because the administration is very good at doing that. But in the end, it's your decision. You just saw Thrasher say, this looks wrong, let's do the RFP and do it right. Why is Fruits of Labor not doing the same thing? Because it's not right. Now go behind closed doors and learn some more about it.
Okay, do we have a motion to enter executive session?
So moved.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion second to enter executive session. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. We are now in executive session. We'll retire to Mr. Trump's office.
Mayor, what I would suggest, because there will be no, the only thing that will take place after this session tonight will be a motion to adjourn once we come back into regular session.
All righty.
There'll be no action on anything. Other than that, I think it would be best that council remain in here so that it has sufficient room. We're going to be here for a few minutes. We've got, we're going to review a lease, basically, is what we're going to be doing. So that way, the public's welcome to wait if they choose to, but there will be nothing occurring.
So we need a motion to adjourn. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, we won't do that until we.
Okay, all righty.
Because I want to take you to lunch. I want to take you
Need to